Hello and welcome to the 2019 Norwegian Disc Golf Championship's final round coverage from SM Disc Golf Productions. I am Nate Sexton. I will be here with you for the action. Let's get a look at the players that we have on the card today. Peter Lunde at minus 13, 9 shots clear of Håkon Kveseth and Knut Håland. And Ståle Hakstad is just a little bit behind that. The same card that we had for round 3. This is the Krokhol Disc Golf Course outside Oslo, Norway, built on an abandoned ball golf course property. An absolutely beautiful place to play disc golf. I hope I get the chance someday. Looking at hole 1, par 3, 118 meters going uphill. You got the OB just left of the basket. You can see the stakes there. Wide hyzer seems to be a good play. The more aggressive you get, the more that OB comes in.
Siste kart, glidkart ut. Først på 10 med minus 13. 2 ganger og regjerende norgesmester. Representerer Skien frisbeeklubb og Team Innova Norge. Peter Lunde!
Peter is the two-time and defending Norwegian champion. Some sponsor from the Porsche dealership. They got it right out there on the course. That's nice. Peter is going pretty straight again. This time he gets it turned over a little bit more. Nice distance, but stays well right of the basket, and that roll takes him way out of putting range.
Neste på 10, med en score på minus 4, representerer Solør frisbeeklubb, Håkon Kveseth!
Håkon, great power thrower. If you watched round 3, you've heard what I have to say about him. Interesting fact, I gotta say again, the 2019 Norwegian Javelin champion as well as being a professional disc golfer. He went with the huge hyzer again. See if he can get the distance here. Just barely short. Similar to the result in round 3, but he also takes a brutal roll away.
Representerer Langevåg, Konta og Team Innova Norge, Knut Håland.
Knut Håland, another young player, similar age to Peter, both on Team Innova. And there is that width that I think makes sense. Get outside the fairway out on the right, but he still slides it OB. Unfortunate. I thought that was a really nice looking shot. Just didn't quite grab the grass how he needed it to.
Ståle Stai Hakstad.
And our fourth player, Ståle. This is a long shot up the hill. I think he's just content to make 3 here. He's not really looking to play a turnover and add distance. He's just kind of playing it wide to the base of the hill. Easy approach. Take your 3. I would think this approach would be a little bit touchy. Going up the hill, you really have to throw it firm, but must be careful not to glide it past the basket. That's pretty well done. Big jump putt there, but this might roll. I think it did. There it goes. Wow. This hole has not been easy for Peter. Well done. The par putt effort from way down there. Sails over the basket. Håkon looked like he lost his balance there just before he putted. Peter in for bogey. And Knut saves par, so he's able to take a stroke even with the out-of-bounds drive. on both the other top 2 players in the tournament. Hole 2, par 4, 202 meters, going to the right and uphill. Players have been going with a big turnover here, just trying to stay inbounds. The right side is the one that's OB, the left side just kind of nasty rough. And then the really interesting thing about this hole, I think, is how the out of bounds pinches in just before the green, and the fact that the green is so sloped. So you really have to be careful. You're gonna be faced with some tricky putts here that could roll, or you could have a situation where you're up by the line where you have a very scary downhill look. Knut gets a nice turn on this. See if it fades into the trees. Just a bit. I think he might have a stand-up shot from there. And we saw in round 3, Knut had a terrible time with his footing on some wet tee pads. I think they've dried out a bit, or perhaps he's changed shoes. I would think probably both things are true, because he cannot afford to have another round like that if he wants to make a charge. As we see Ståle throw a perfect drive up the middle of the fairway. And Peter turns it way over. That is huge. Great position. Håkon perhaps turned this too much. No. No, he just crushed it. Holy cow. That's an incredible shot. I thought it might have been turned too much when it first came out of his hand, but a fairly overstable disc. That or the uphill nature of the fairway allowed it to slow down. Some little bit of tree love there as he doesn't penetrate very far into the woods. He'll have the open look going uphill from 15 meters or so. And Peter, fortunate there. Slides through the out of bounds area. A little bit lower than he would have liked. I think the line was good, just the height wasn't quite there. That's a great shot, and what a reaction off the ground as well, just to stay close, not a big skip. This drive is fantastic. Little putter turnover to the basket. Gets away from him just a bit, but he'll have an open look, I believe. Long look for par here. Good effort. That was for birdie, my mistake. That also was for birdie. Great birdie putt there. Confidently thrown up the hill. And Knut able to take another shot out of Peter's lead, so that'll close the gap to 7 shots. That's the pace he's looking for if he's going to make a move on the championship. This was a great part from Håkon. Got good spin. That's what it takes to get up that hill and not lose your nose angle. Come up short. Hole 3, par 3, 84 meters, dead straight. This one is a nice little woods tunnel. No out of bounds, but as you might guess, off this fairway is going to be a very tough save if you don't negotiate your way out to the end where it opens up just a little bit. It does have a bit of a drop away behind the basket and an elevated basket, so there's plenty of danger even once you get up here. Players have a hard time sticking it right here on the level surface as it kind of drops away really on all sides. That's a great drive. I do not think that score graphic that came up was quite correct, if I remember from what the round started at, but we'll see if that is fixed as we move along, as Håkon looks to go with a forehand putter or mid-range here. Wow, that is very smooth. 84 meters, approaching 300 feet. Really a nice distance to be able to throw a slow speed disc with the forehand. And Peter with the backhand, and he catches a tree. Knut going to have an opportunity to even further close down the lead, perhaps gaining 3 shots or more in the first 3 holes. Ståle runs into some trouble there, trying to escape those woods. This is a really important shot, I feel. Oh my gosh, and he goes early into the tree and kicks left. Great recovery. I would not have thought there would be much of a game here with Peter having such a big lead to start the 4th and final round, but he is going to pitch to the fairway. And this is going to be a huge swing. He's still got a little bit of a putt there for double bogey. That's well done. Can Knut hit this? No, he doesn't make it. That was to take 3 shots. Håkon after that fantastic drive. And he will birdie. Nice putt for par, and that should tie Knut and Håkon in 2nd place. Bogey for Ståle there. Difficult hole when you don't make that fairway. Hole 4, par 3, 124 meters going downhill with OB on that right side. Players have been throwing a overstable mid-range, going straight down the hill and trying to fade a little bit left at the end. In the wind, you may need to go to a driver here, but it doesn't appear to be too terribly windy for our round today, so I think we're going to see some of that play. Maybe fairway driver, maybe mid-range, right-hand, backhand, kind of glide it down the hill and finish left to the green. Looks like Håkon is alone in 2nd place. I may have made a mistake in my adding of the scores, and that's a great drive right into the circle. Really putting pressure on Peter now. Wow. Almost an ace run there as he skips a little bit long. A little bit high. Can this dig and stay close? Sort of close. Pretty long look, but he's in the grass. And Peter going back to that KC Pro rock. Very well done. Oh, wow. Great effort there. Well outside the circle. Just left side. Not quite able to hold. Great birdie from Håkon. And Peter from almost the exact same spot. Nicely done. Par cleanups for our last two players. Hole 5, par 4, 175 meters, basically flat ground. It breaks way to the right. You see the hazard bunker there in the fairway if you're trying to play short. From round 3, we saw Håkon demonstrate the potential, I think, to reach this basket, or at least to have a putt for the Eagle 2. He went very aggressive. He found trees, but I think the disc had the speed it needed. If he can find that correct line, could be pretty exciting here, able to make a real push. Maybe by taking an eagle that Peter might not have a whole lot to say about. This needs to turn quite a lot. Uh-oh. I saw an out-of-bounds stake. I didn't see a graphic pop up. So perhaps he stayed in bounds there. That is a fantastic shot shape. 2 rounds in a row, making this hole look very, very easy. He might have some trees to deal with, but he's so close to the basket, I gotta think he'll be able to find a way to put the disc pretty close for his birdie putt. This needs a little more height with that much turn. Might even cut roll just a bit, but it stays in the center. And Ståle to a similar spot with his drive. Big hyzer gets caught up in the trees, unable to reach the green. Likely par. Knut is a confident putter thrower. I've seen already a few great examples of that. He does it again here. Great commitment. So Håkon must just be barely in bounds there, just beyond the line. I think there was a fantastic forehand. parked for birdie. Oh, and it looks like Peter has nothing in the way. He's content just to lay that up nice and close. Wow, Ståle was in a better position than I thought. He really did have an opportunity still to make birdie there. Nice three. Three great birdies and one par for the group here on the par 4 fifth. Here is that putter approach again. Really putting a full swing into it. Great angle. Hole 6, par 3, 77 meters out of a tight gap and going to the right. The defining feature here is the slope behind the basket. We saw some layups from fairly close, just players really needing to get in there really tight to the basket before it feels worth it to run the putt. This looks very good. Wow, a little bit of a roll. Catches some trees, I believe, and he should be putting uphill, which is going to be great compared to where most people are landing on this hole. And Peter hits a little bit of tree, but fights through it. That's a solid shot. There's going to be a lot of trees in between him and the basket, but he's made it as about pin deep. And the forehand approach. Wow. Fantastic. This will almost certainly be a layup from this range. Pretty well done. Just got to avoid a bad roll, courtesy of those roots and stumps. Wow, what a putt from Knut there. Really a risky place to go for it, and he comes through. Fist bumps all around. Fantastic. That had to be 15 meters. Great birdie putt from Håkon as well. And Ståle with a great forehand, making this hole look very easy. Peter's going to lose a shot to the entire card here. And that lead that started out at 9 strokes is shrinking uncomfortably quickly from his perspective. Look at this putt. Wow. Hole 7, par 4, 184 meters. This one is very, very straight all the way up. You really have to find that short grass to have any real shot at getting all the way to the basket. There's not a lot of out of bounds, but there's really bad rough both sides, and the basket is just perched here perfectly, where if you go long, left, or right, you're going downhill in a big hurry. So great time to get a little aggressive off the tee, perhaps chew up some distance to allow you to throw a slower disc, a putter or mid-range, into this basket and minimize your skip. Håkon going pretty big with the hyzer to flat. Wow. huge drive. That might even just be a jump putt to the basket. And can Knut break before these trees? Yes, into the fairway. This looks nice as well. Before the trees, finding the middle. And Petter with a little bit lower line up the middle. Very well done. Nice shot there, sliding up to the fringe of the green. The thumber settles nicely as well. That is a disappointing result. He catches some early trees. You can see his disc, I believe, just a couple meters ahead of Håkon's amazing drive. Looks like he won't quite be able to jump putt, but I don't think he's got much left. Fantastic. And I would think Petter's got to be approaching full panic mode now. This is the front nine. He had a 9-shot lead to start. And I think this is going to shrink it to just 4. Great birdie putt. In for par. And Håkon with the tap in birdie. Coming back on hole 8, par 3, 106 meters with a mandatory to the right, OB on the right as well. So the mandatory is on the left, but you must pass to the right. You have to hit this tunnel. There's no going over the top on that left side. Players have been going with the hyzer flip-up sort of shot on a fairway driver, trying to get in here and get a little bit of glide and skip to finish all the way up to the basket. If you do miss the mandatory, you have a drop zone to contend with, but I don't expect any of these players are going to test that. The lead just 3 over Håkon now. I thought it was either 3 or 4. It turns out just 3. What a charge. 6 shots already canceled out on just the first 7 holes. The big hyzer falls in the middle, well short of the basket. Knut showing us a more traditional line up the middle. Does it straighten too much? Yes, but it takes a fantastic kick, good power on the disc, and he's going to be inside 10 meters, I believe. Needs this to finish. I think that's going to find him in the trees. This looks like a fairway speed rim width from Peter.
Lopside.
Solid approach there. And he's not happy with that, which makes me think he was trying to make it because it was a fine approach. Wow. That effort to close the gap to 2 shots comes up just low. And don't forget about Knut. He is also charging. Some tap-ins for par. Knut makes the only birdie. Decent effort to mark it from distance. Knut's birdie putt on the 8th. And on to hole 9, sharply uphill. Forehand Annie through the gap, flexing back is a good play. We also saw a lot of super high Anheuser backhands going over everything all the way to the basket. Elevated basket up here at the top of the hill, and also a ton of trees right behind the basket. So the guys who did run their putts were faced with some pretty tricky comebackers having to straddle around all those little obstacles. 12, 9, 8 for our top 3. Much more of a battle than we expected. Such a difficult hole to film. I believe I saw the disc flash deep of the basket. Well, right, maybe a bit short. Gonna have to wait and see on some of these. That was very nice. A little more fade back to the basket, and it's perfect. And here is that big Anheuser. Peter could really use a park job right about now, and he might have got himself one. No, it rolls away. He deserved a lot better there. Fantastic shot. Hopefully he still has a line to the basket. A birdie would do a lot for his mindset, I would think, after he surrendered so much of the lead he built. No. Terrible roll there. Great effort for the birdie. And forced to lay up now. Unfortunate. Peter gives that a run. Doesn't look like he's going to be faced with too much challenge coming back. Wow, Knut is much closer than I thought, but misses the putt low. It's going to be pars for everyone except Ståle after that terrible roll on his birdie effort. So tough sometimes on these elevated baskets on a side hill. He threw probably one of the nicest looking drives. He clearly had the best effort at the putt, and he ends up taking punishment for it. As we look at Peter's birdie effort through the trees just around the basket, that concludes our front 9, guys, and we have a battle on our hands. Look at all those green numbers for Håkon and Knut. Peter over par to start this final round. Come back, we've just got 9 holes left from Krokhold Disc Golf Course. We have got anybody's game now, 3 players well in the hunt for the 2019 Norwegian National Championship.